Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from the BBC that was published on October 4th. And I love this because the way they're reporting this, the US, the UK, and Netherlands are basically saying that the Russians watched the movie Hackers a few too many times and literally took the motto "Hack the Planet" and turned it into a lifestyle because they're hacking every little fucking thing out there. It's some funny fucking shit. Because right now, Russia's the boogeyman. Now, I'm not saying that they're not out there hacking shit and stuff like that. Every nation does that, okay? China is one of the worst offenders. North Korea is one of the worst offenders. The US, we have our own hackers and intruding networks. The UK does. Germany, France, all these countries do it. But Russia. It's like, give me a fucking break. It's pot calling the kettle black, you assholes. Oh, but we're different. No, you're doing the same exact shit. You're no better. And Russia's become the boogeyman for it so that you can blame Russia for like doing it while you're doing it right there next to them. Russian spies have been accused of involvement in a series of cyber plots across the globe, leading the U.S. to level charges against 7 agents. This goes back to the whole Mueller probe, because now they're trying to confuse the fucking shit. These are the same 7 people that Mueller indicted on that bullshit. Oh my God. Holy shit. Complete bullshit on that. No proof. I love how they leave that fact out because when you put it into that context, you go, oh my God. Yeah, okay. They might be guilty of hacking and shit like that, but they ain't guilty of that crime. The U.S. Justice Department said to, before we go any further, because that was Seth Rich. That was a Bernie bro who got pissed and said, you know what? I'm going to expose you fuckers. And he got a double tap for his troubles. The U.S. Justice Department said targets included the global chemical weapons watchdog, anti-doping agencies, and a U.S. nuclear company. The allegations are part of an organized pushback against alleged Russian cyber attacks around the world. Exactly, alleged. No proof in a lot of cases, but they're saying, yeah, Russians. Russia earlier dismissed the allegations as Western spy mania, and to a large extent it is. They're right. What is Russia accused of? The Netherlands has accused 4 Russians of plotting to hack the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which has been probing the chemical attack on Russian ex-spy in the UK. Now, let me paint a different picture on why they could be doing that. Because, in my honest opinion, I think that Russian and his daughter were poisoned by the British or by one of their intelligence agencies or by another Western intelligence agency, maybe the CIA, who knows? Because it was beneficial with the whole anti-Russian hysteria that it was done by them, because it does not benefit Russia. And when that happened, first thing I thought of is he was probably, with his daughter, poisoned by the Brits. And with that being the case, wouldn't you want, because the poison used, there's going to be, even though chemically it's the same chemical regardless, but there's going to be stuff, say, in the intermediary, but there could be other trace elements, things like that could point to whether it was actually Russian or not. And I could see the Russians wanting to know what that information is, if they're not guilty of it. I mean, to me, that makes sense. And if they are guilty of it, obviously I want to see what the conclusions are. But Just to give you an idea, there's no conclusive proof that this has anything to do with that, if it was them, with the poisoning. Because there's no proof that it was the poisoning. It's just, it was, because it's a little too convenient when it's a Russian poison. Because here's the thing. If I'm the Russians and I'm going to go poison an ex-spy and his daughter, am I going to use the one thing that leads everyone back to my front door? Or am I going to use a tactic of another nation? To me, I'd use the tactic of another nation. The Russians aren't stupid people. Same idea. The British, or if the Americans, or heaven forbid the Canadians, the Australians, or whatever, Germans, the French, whatever, or multiple countries' intelligence agencies, planned this out. If you're looking to blame the Russians, wouldn't you use their tactics? Just saying. The UK government accused the GRU of being behind 4 high-profile cyber attacks, whose targets include firms in Russia and Ukraine, the US Democratic Party, and a small TV network in the UK. I love this. The United States, which we're going to get into next here, won't even bring up the DNC servers, because at this point it's like, yeah, we beat that dead horse. People ain't buying that shit. The more we beat it, more people are buying into the, you know, the fact of it's probably Seth Rich. Yeah. But it's the British saying they hacked the DNC. Those bloody bastards. They hacked the DNC. It's like, are they seriously sucking Hillary's dick right now? I think they are. They're sucking Queen Hillary's dick. I love how the BBC loves Hillary and the DNC so much. Oh, wow. And the thing is Russian companies, they're Russian companies. How the hell would the British know about the Russian government hacking Russian companies? And with what they were doing, intercepting calls with the US and Australia and Canada with Echelon, they're the last ones to fucking talk right now. They were passing shit around, allowing for companies to steal intellectual property using the intercepted communication, get insider information to get their projects ahead of others, and literally drive companies out of markets and steal contracts from them and all this other shady shit. It's all well documented too with Echelon. And there's this small TV network in the UK. What of worth would they have for the Russians? I could see as a joke them maybe hacking it. Maybe have, you know, something scroll across the screen or some shit, but that's about it. The U.S. said its anti-doping agency, football's governing body FIFA, and the U.S. nuclear energy company Westinghouse were targeted by Russian intelligence. See, I love how they say hacked, but the thing is, the U.S. just said targeted. Doesn't mean they were hacked, it just means they were targeted. What's the proof? I mean, because we've had the government say, oh yeah, the Russians hacked the DNC when everything looks like Seth Rich. Go figure. And I love this one, because it goes to show they have absolutely no proof here in Canada. Canada said, and they quote, with high confidence, that breaches at its Center for Ethics in Sports and at the Montreal-based World Anti-Doping Agency were carried out by Russian intelligence. So that translation, let's translate that. They have Canada, Justin fucking pussy hat wearing bitch Trudeau, his government, they have absolutely no clue, but they want to say it's Russia because their feelings, because there are feels over reals, government, their feelings tell them it's Russia. Feelings. We gotta believe their feelings. No, that's not how it works. Added to this, The Dutch authorities have said a laptop seized from the 4 suspects in April was found to have been used in Brazil, Switzerland, and Malaysia. You know what's funny is these guys could be hackers. They could have probably known someone in the government. They might be independents. Occasionally get tossed government work. But they could be going around doing corporate shit. These particular hackers here. Just a possibility. In Malaysia, the Netherlands said it was used to target the investigation into the downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 in 2014 over territory held by Russian-backed rebels in eastern Ukraine. All 200 people aboard were killed. See, this is what's funny is now they're going to try to blame the fucking Russians for this flight. MH17 shit that's happened with the fact of not knowing what's up and this and that and the other thing. Somehow the Russians are now at fault for that too. So let's see. According to the legacy media and these globalist shit pigs in government, Russia is the root of all evil because they supposedly hacked the DNC. Now they're trying, they're hacking. Oh my God. I don't want to go through the whole list because this is just fucking hilarious. It's pathetic, but hacking World Cup and FIFA and the world doping, and it's like, are you kidding me? A series of astonishing revelations by James Lansdale, BBC diplomatic correspondent. The revelations about how the British and Dutch security agencies disrupted the operations of the GRU are astonishing in their detail and their openness. Wow. Because it's what they want people to know on the note of the story they are trying to paint. That's what it is. There is no other way to describe that. Because I don't see the British government or the Dutch government being that fucking transparent. I really don't. This is not what secretive intelligence agencies normally do. Oh, no shit. But the willingness of both countries to be so candid illustrates how determined both they and some of the Western governments are to try to push back against what they see as a concerted pattern of Russian aggression. Yeah. Because they're fucking delusional in most cases these days. Because Russia's the whooping boy. China's a bigger threat with hacking. North Korea's a bigger threat with fucking hacking. Oh my God. I imagine Mr. Putin is shouting at 1 or 2 people right now. A cheerful British official told me. Ha 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 ha! He's laughing at you fucking retards. Like I am. Oh my God. You people are fucking retarded. No proof, but we're going to say Russia did it, and Putin's going to be yelling right now. What has Russia said? Russia Foreign Ministry, which had earlier dismissed the allegations from the UK and the Netherlands as Western spy mania, released an official statement late on Thursday saying it was the victim of yet another staged, managed propaganda campaign. And I agree with that totally, because we're rolling in right now into the midterm elections here in the U.S. Got just over a month now. Literally, just a couple days over. And they're trying to pave the way for when they can say, oh, Russia, 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 Russia. This is a global effort because they don't want more Republicans. See, the thing is, and I think they know this, people are fed up with the Democrats right now. The odds of the Democrats retaking the House, in my assessment, is really low. I think they're going to lose some seats. And I don't see them doing shit in the Senate. I see them losing there too. So when that happens, they want to have a complete fucking cover for it. So they're laying the Russia groundwork right now, a month early. So global targets of alleged Russian operations, okay? Canada, the World Anti-Doping Agency. The U.S., Sport Anti-Doping Agencies, Nuclear Technologies. Brazil, the Sport Anti-Doping Agencies. To me, if the Russians are this concerned about doping in sports, sounds like you should be talking to bookmakers and shit. Just my opinion. You know, Malaysia, the MH17 crash, Switzerland, World Anti-Doping, chemical weapons, the chemical weapons watchdog in Netherlands, Foreign Office, Ministry of Defense. What's funny is you have all these different countries that'll try to hack their Ministry of Defense. You got all these different countries trying to hack the Pentagon. You got all these different countries trying to hack the German equivalent or the French equivalent or China. And China's hacking us and we're hacking them. It's going all around and around and around. It is unclear who is supposed to believe these statements accusing Russian citizens of attempting to mount cyber attacks against the OPCW and trying to obtain data related to the Malaysian flight MH17, as if it is necessary to be near the target of your attack, it said. I love this. And then this next one, all right, supposed to do this not all shit, but yet this is what's great, because the left likes this not all, and you know, if there's a minority that commits a crime, or it's not all just a minority, he's just an individual. It's not like that. But look at how they label the Russians here. Any Russian citizen carrying a mobile device is seen as a spy, the statement added. So every Russian somehow, sorry for the squeaky chair, every Russian somehow is a spy. They're not fucking Chinese. That's a Chinese thing. They are literally trying to project the Chinese system of spying onto the Russians. That's some fucked up shit. Some dishonest, shady shit. What have the other countries said? John Demers, U.S. Attorney General for National Security, told a press conference in Washington that many of the attacks were aimed at delegitimizing sports bodies and altering perception of the truth. He said the attacks were how Russia retaliated for bans on its athletes following evidence it was systematically using drugs to enhance their performance. A lot of countries do that without, like, I wouldn't be surprised if even the U.S. and Canada, they might even just say turn a blind eye to it, but when those people are working up to getting to the Olympics, I wouldn't be surprised if they're fucking doping and then cleaning up within enough time for them to fucking go and pass shit. I don't doubt it. As a result of the findings, the U.S. has indicted 7 people, 4 of whom were the men expelled from the Netherlands, while the other 3 were among those charged in July with hacking Democratic officials during the 2016 U.S. elections. I love this. Hacking Democratic officials. You mean the DNC. I love how dishonest the BBC's being here, because they don't want to bring up the DNC hack, because then it brings up Seth Rich, because Seth Rich online, I mean, normies who don't go and see this shit, they're like, they might buy into this, but they might not. But those who are online, who've seen the Seth Rich stuff, they know it was him. They might not have proof, but in their gut, they're going, it was Seth Rich. And I love, they don't want to bring up the Mueller thing because they're all looking like shitbricks. I mean, the BBC, at least, is kind of loosened up with their Trump derangement syndrome a little. They've rolled it back a little bit these days because they realize they're looking like fucking morons. They're like looking at CNN and MSNBC and going, shit, we are getting like them. We gotta roll things back. Now, this is what makes me think that they could be independents, personally, you know, and contract to the Russian government. I don't think that they're necessarily, like, say, part of their intelligence apparatus. They were also charged with wire fraud, identity theft, and money laundering. That's what makes me think that they're independents. All 7 men are thought to be in Russia, which does not have an extradition treaty with the U.S. or a lot of other countries for that matter. A joint statement from British Prime Minister Theresa May and her Dutch counterpart, Mark Rutte, I think I'm saying that right, said the alleged plot against the OPCW demonstrated the GRU's disregard for global values and rules that keep us all safe. That is some fucking twisted shit. Every one of the countries in the West has their own cyber units that do hacking, that hack foreign nations, even our fucking allies. We all hack each other. Yet Russia's supposedly the only one. I love this because you get this story brewing right now about how China ended up hacking hardware with a little microchip, according to Bloomberg. I'm going to be doing a video on it, but well, talking about it, and basically they're trying to make it sound like, oh yeah, Russia, yeah. What about China? What about North Korea? Cuba? They've got fucking hackers too. They're a little piss pot. They can't even feed their fucking people. The Castro regime can't feed the people. But they got a hacking unit. U.S. NSA. You think all they do is sit there and that's part of their mandate to gather intelligence through electronics, through electronic means. That means hacking as part of that. Meanwhile, British Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt said the UK was discussing further sanctions against Russia with its allies. The EU has also denounced the alleged cyber plots. They're also just looking, as you can see, for an excuse to leverage Russia more. You don't piss off a country that has a fucking nuclear button that's almost as big as Trump's. You stupid fucks. They're treating Russia. Now, I'm not saying, bow down to them or anything like that. But they're looking at Russia as like some fucking joke third world fucking country. And that's my point by that with the nuclear button. That's not the fact that Russia will nuke us. I mean, if they say they're going to, Russians tend to follow through with their shit. They don't make threats. But, or hollow threats, more accurately. But the thing is, Russia might not be the Soviet Union anymore. The U.S. defeated them. You didn't do fucking squat, but you think that you fucking beat their asses down. It was the U.S. that did that, motherfuckers. You stupid fucks. So you think you're going to act all fucking tough and you're going to push for this shit because ultimately you go, oh, well, we defeated communism. No, the U.S. did. Reagan did. Reagan was the one that facilitated that. You didn't do shit. Thatcher did a little bit, but not much. And you people think that you can put pressure on Russia. Oh, we beat their ass once. No, the U.S. did it, number one. Number two, it's because the people in the country wanted freedom. It's not going to work this time. Russians are for Russia now. They're behind Putin. This is some stupid fucking shit. What were the suspects doing in the Netherlands? Now, I love this picture because, look, it's just all normal shit that you'd have. LAN cable, rechargeable battery, plug, like USB plugs and shit like that. Just normal fucking shit. And this is, look at the title of this, like for the photo. The suspects were allegedly found to have specialist hacking equipment. This is normal shit you, I, or anyone else would have, and they're calling it specialist hacking equipment. The 4 suspects, identified by Dutch officials, had diplomatic passports, which meant the Netherlands could not arrest them as diplomats are, in theory, immune from prosecution in their host country, and it included 2 IT experts and 2 support agents, officials said. The four hired a car and parked it in the car park at the Marriott Hotel in The Hague, which is next to the OPCW office, to hack into the OPCW's Wi-Fi network. Major General Arnold Eichland from Dutch MIVD Intelligence Service said. Now, this is what's messed up. You look at what they demonstrate in this next picture of how they're supposedly hacking. It makes absolutely no sense. Equipment in the car boot was pointed at the OPCW and was being used to intercept login details, he said, adding that the antenna for the operation lay under a jacket on the car's rear shelf. See, this is what makes absolutely no sense here. You've got a Wi-Fi panel covered, panel antenna, a bag with a battery and a transformer. So it's not a transformer, it's a power inverter, number one. Number two, they got the computer here, which is connected to a smartphone and a Wi-Fi panel antenna. Like they're using the smartphone somehow for this. I mean, the person who did this up obviously didn't have a clue what they're talking about. Now, I'm not doubting that they didn't get, I mean, when you're looking at the picture here. I mean, but they're trying to claim that this is the fucking elite hacker shit they had. This isn't even that elite. This is shit that you and I could produce. But what they're trying to do here is you know, talk about something they have little to no clue about. And it just makes them look stupid, and it gives those people that are doubters and shit like that want to latch onto a conspiracy theory, even one that's, you know, take 2 seconds to look at it and go, oh, fuck me. You know, that ain't shit of a, you know, that ain't shit. Why are people buying into it? Because it's just common sense and logic and all that. I'll tell you that. This is one of those things because of how they've laid this out, because someone was clueless. When the men were intercepted, they tried to destroy one of the mobile phones they were carrying, Major General Eichland said. You know, they get some burner phones, they get some smartphones, they got a camera, you know. I don't doubt that they were hackers, but I honestly think they were independents and somehow knew someone in the Russian government to get diplomatic passports. You know, if you do work for the Russian government, you might as well toss them a diplomatic passport. He said one of their mobile phones was found to have been activated near the GRU building in Moscow. How the fuck can they figure that one out? Well, another carried a receipt for a taxi journey from a street near the GRU to the airport. That I just find a little too fucking convenient. Spies are not... How do I put this? Hackers? They're not going to think to remove shit like that per se. Spies? Leave no fucking trace. That's Spy 101. They're trying to portray these guys as spies. Yet they have receipts and shit like that. They would be using burner phones that they wouldn't be turning on supposedly right next to the GRU either. I just don't think that would happen. Major General Eichland said that the group were planning to travel to Switzerland to a laboratory in Spies where the OPCW analyzed samples. Now, I love this. In that above article section, they turn around and make it look like they made it to Switzerland, that they actually did a hack, so on and so forth, okay? They didn't do fucking shit there because they didn't even make it there. But they don't expect people to read this far into the article. They never made it. Instead, the four were immediately escorted out of the country, he added. Who are the suspects? They were named by the MIVD as hackers Alexei Morinets and Yevgeny Serebryakov. I think I'm saying that kind of close. I'm butchering it probably, though. And support agents Oleg Sotanov and Alexei Minin. I know Minin I probably got close. Or at least I hope. Officials said they were from the GRU's Unit 26165, which has also been known as Apartment 28. The UK's ambassador to the Netherlands, Peter Wilson, said the unit had sent officers around the world to conduct brazen, close-access cyber operations, which involve hacking into Wi-Fi networks. Well, maybe secure facilities and government offices and corporations and shit like that shouldn't be running fucking Wi-Fi. Then you wouldn't have to worry about this. Common fucking sense. And again, if they were actually spies, they would be following Spy 101, leave no trace. He said the hackers were planning to travel to the OPCW certified laboratory in Spies near Bern in Switzerland, where the Novichok nerve agent used in March's attack on Sergei Skripal and his daughter in the British city of Salisbury was identified. Yes, but Novichok agent, like I said, there are ways to figure out if it was actually Russian or not because of different ways it'll be processed. You might end up with markers, we'll call them, that will allow you to figure out who manufactured it. You don't know. I don't necessarily buy into the Russian thing with that because it's just too fucking convenient. At the time the Russian operation was disrupted, the OPCW was investigating the Skripal case as well as an alleged chemical attack in April on the Syrian town of Douma near Damascus by Russian-backed government forces, the MIVD said, which, this is what gets me is, the only one who benefited from that chemical attack were the supposed freedom fighters, the actual fucking terrorists that control that fucking region. Those white hat bitches who associate with them. All of them were the ones who had a benefit from that. Assad didn't have any gain. That only made him look like shit. That only fucked his position. He's not a stupid man. But yet, you portray people as being so stupid that they would buy into your bullshit on that. Why would a man who's about to liberate a fucking city gas it? You gotta be smoking fucking crack to think that sounds remotely plausible. I love how they're trying to connect the dots here between Syria and Russia with this shit. It's so funny. With its aggressive cyber campaigns, we see the GRU trying to clean up Russia's own mess. Be it the doping uncovered by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, which those should all be capital letters for WADA, or the nerve agent identified by the OPCW, Mr. Wilson said. Yes, and Novichok can be produced by anyone. They know, if they know the chemical composition, anyone can make the shit. The US could make it. The French, the British, the Germans, hell, the fucking Cubans, the Chinese, the Japanese, both North and South Korea, which I would think North Korea would want to fucking make that shit. Little tin pot dictator running the show. Just saying. Oh my God, this is such funny shit. What was on their computer? A laptop seized from the suspects was found to have been used in Brazil, Switzerland, and Malaysia, the Dutch officials said. The cyber operation in Malaysia targeted the Attorney General's office and Malaysian police, as well as the investigation into MH17 shooting down, Ambassador Wilson said. See, they wait till the very end. They're trying to make it sound like they were, so that they could try to paint this picture that Russia was involved with the shooting down of MH17. They wait till the end to go, oh, well, they were also looking at other things there. That raises a red fucking flag with this shit, doesn't it? Just think about that. Earlier this year, Dutch-led international investigators concluded that a missile that brought down the MH17 belonged to a Russian brigade. Russia has denied any involvement in the plane's destruction, which led to the death of many Dutch citizens. Exactly. Data from the laptop showed it was also present in the Swiss city of Lucerne, where it was linked to the hacking of a laptop belonging to WADA, which has exposed doping by Russian athletes. What the how the fuck does a laptop expose the doping of Russian athletes or doping by Russian athletes? Explain that one. How the fuck does an inanimate object manage to do that? Has it got some like funky new artificial intelligence on it or some shit? This is why I don't buy into this shit with this Russia stuff. Because yes, Russia's hacking shit. And who knows, they probably could have hacked WADA. WADA, instead of yada, 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 like Fosse. Or Waka, 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 whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, they could have done it. There's no proof, though. Just innuendo and accusations. Nothing more at this point. Till they show actual fucking evidence for it. With how much they've been, like, linking this to, like, the DNC shit that we know is Seth Rich, makes me just buy less of it. Because it lends less credibility to it. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.